right. I hope everyone can hear me. Welcome again to Nomads Media, your travel, business, and lifestyle publication, and of course, live stream. We have a very exciting interview today, very exciting episode, because this is for all travel lovers out there, and of course, explorers out there. We are talking about the co living revolution. Of course, this is something new for some people. What is co living? And why is it I would say rising, right, in the um uh, even in the travel and corporate sphere, right? We'll be talking with the founder and managing editor of one of the rising co-living companies in I would say in Southeast Asia. So yeah, very excited to talk to Luca. Of course, we will be talking more about why this trend is rising and why it's here to stay. All right. So here we go. Let's bring him in. We have here again the founder and managing director of HOMA, a co living service apartment company in Thailand, Luca Dotti. Can you hear me, Luca? I hope you can hear me.
I can. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Of course, we'll be talking about co living and, of course, co working for a lot of working professionals out there and entrepreneurs, and why it's redefining community. And of course, you're based in Thailand. I know a lot of people are dreaming of living in Thailand, where you are. Where are you currently located, by the way?
I'm in Phuket.
You're in Phuket. I love Phuket. And yeah, I can imagine um, the ambience and the community you've built there.
Yeah.
So yes, now let's talk about co-living and the importance of sustainability, of course, in these communities, in co-living communities. And I know that this is at the heart of what you do at HOMA. Now, it's gaining popularity, but some people are not familiar. What is co-living, and what's the difference between co-living and co-working?
For living, it's stands for community living. So it's a little bit the evolution of co-working, right? I think co-working, or at least in this
Yeah,
part of the world, was the first one to emerge. So it's basically, working with other people, with other people from other companies. So kind of sharing that working space, and co-living is sharing the living space. And I think we've seen a lot of different versions of co-living in the past few years. Our take on co-living, it's really respecting the privacy of tenants. So every apartment is self-sustained. So it has its own bathroom, its own kitchen. So there is no
nice.
sharing private space, but shared private space. But the common areas are amazing, right? So you have gym, swimming pool,
Yeah,
co-working space, obviously food and beverage outlets, and especially there is a management hours that really creates that community on a daily basis, where like activities such as movie nights, fitness classes, happy hours. We have a football team, we have a chess club. I mean, you name it, right? Every day there is
wow.
some yoga, obviously. So it's really like renting an experience more than just renting the four walls of an apartment. So,
Yeah,
and um, and I think it's gained a lot of popularity recently because, especially after COVID, people have re-evaluated the values of staying together, and we as humans are social creatures, and the real estate market, if you think about that, has always been kind of like developed to divide us, right? You have like houses with fences and gates and apartments with walls, and you never really get to meet your neighbors. And I think COVID has changed a little bit that people
mhm,
right now are more than ever eager to become part of a community, and especially with the travel renaissance after COVID, that has become even more.
Wow. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, definitely. And especially the community part where you rent your apartment, but you also have access to socialization activities apart from the usual, of course, residence. And actually, that's ideal for a lot of people, both I would say foreign residents or foreign workers or expats, and of course the locals as well. So I think very
Yes.
practical and ideal for our time right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have seen um, many different users of our spaces since we opened in 2021, right? We have not only small apartments, we have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms apartments. So our spaces range from 30 square meters, which is the smallest space, to 130 square meter, right? So it's really like bigger apartments. We're pet friendly as well. So you really have single guys, you have couples with pets, couples with kids, bigger families. Obviously, the majority of the residents are between 25 and 35 years old, but we also have older people. It's really like a big neighborhood. And some of
Yeah,
these are digital nomads. Some, as you mentioned, they live here, they work here. So we have a big community of really long-term residents, people that really live here. And so it's a nice combination. And obviously, the long stay guests are really the ones that are really looking for the community aspects, right? Usually, people
yeah,
that come for maybe a week, etc., they're not that interested. But I think the more you stay, the more you start appreciating, you know, that sense of belonging that that we create here at Homa.
yeah. Well, speaking of the typical residents
Mhm.
at Homa, I mean, I'm sure you have knowledge of other co-living spaces as well. Do you share these type of, I would say, residents, the types of residents staying at co-living spaces? Who are they in general in the industry, and how have their needs and expectations evolved?
So I think we come from a bit of a different background than a typical co-living operator because we started as a developer. So we built purpose built these HOMA properties that we have. We're five at the moment. Three are operational, two are under development, and we can talk more about the locations later. But I think our take was really to develop ground up a space that was designed around the needs of the tenants, and definitely after COVID, we have seen a trend towards bigger spaces, towards more car parks. I mean, we have experienced, at least here in Thailand, a great migration out of expensive cities like Singapore and Hong Kong towards places like Phuket for sure, but Bali in Indonesia, where the quality of living is very high and at a fraction of the cost. And so we have seen really people relocating with their whole families, and we have cases of people that from here they maybe still go back to Singapore or Hong Kong for meetings and for their employment, but they have their family, their kids living here. So obviously the trend has been towards the desire of bigger spaces, and obviously the common areas play a big role. So our fitness facilities are definitely like the busiest. Co-working obviously is a big one. We had to design something that initially when we started working on this weren't there, but like a lot of like soundproof pods, because obviously people spend their days on Zoom.
Mhm.
um, and and yeah, and obviously there is a big factor on the software, really creating events so that people come together. They you just show the football club, for example, is a big one, or the yoga. These are really opportunities for like-minded people to come together and meet each other. And because there's so many people in the buildings, I mean, you're showing Phuket town is 505 apartments. So it's basically 1,000 people in the building, right? So it's a big neighborhood, and there is a bit of everything. So we have events for kids, so families will join. Events for single guys. We have a speed dating nights, so they will join them, and fitness enthusiasts that will come for the fitness classes. There is really something for everybody.
Wow, really impressive. Exciting. I mean, it's really like an ideal space, especially when you move abroad or moving abroad. And it really is an evolved version of co-working, right? As opposed to just like sharing a co-working space. Well, you also have your residences as well.
Yeah,
Now,
co-work
go
realized
ahead.
realized that co-working alone wasn't really a profitable business anymore. We felt that in Singapore, for example, where I spent a lot of time, the co-working really evolved in the corporate co-working. So basically giving big companies the flexibility to scale up and down teams. But the
Mhm.
co-working as we know it, the hot desk, etc., is very hard to monetize really because there's a lot of cool places that allow you to work for free. And so for us, the co-working is just a facility. It's free, open 24/7, and yeah, it's just an added common areas for people to be productive.
All right. Sounds really good. Now let's talk about sustainability because, of course, this is key to a lot of co-living spaces, and I would say modern accommodations these days, and real estate. It's great. How can co-living spaces contribute to a more eco-friendly lifestyle?
When we started these projects, we raised a private equity fund to basically fund the construction. And because of the size and the institutional kind of like stance of the investment, we realized that it was really important to be at the forefront of sustainability because we see that as a big trend both for tenants and investors. And so, because we're building ground up, we really put a massive effort in creating spaces that are um, just like as a much smaller impact in terms of energy consumption, water consumption compared to a traditional building. We used very durable natural materials. We have obviously a massive focus on landscaping and creating a very harmonious gardens and common areas, natural ventilation everywhere. And so it's something that for obviously solar panels, it's something that it attracts residents. They are conscious about that, but
Mhm.
it also makes money for us because a lot of these things allow us to reduce our operating costs. And because we own and operate the buildings, we really look at the energy bill at the end of the day, right? So it's something that we're really proud of because um, we feel we are at the forefront of sustainability, especially in this part of the world. We are LEED certified, which is probably the biggest certification in the sustainability world in the real estate space. We're also
Mm.
EDGE certified, which is another certification from IFC World Bank. But especially we promote a lot of that within our resident base. And it's not just the environment, but it's also the social impact. Obviously, when we bring such a big real estate project in a community, it's very important to integrate with the local community, give opportunity to the local community to, do business, interact with us. In the case of Phuket, we also have a lot of community initiatives like beach cleanups, like you showing, for example, a nice pictures there, and
Nice.
um, and we participate in a lot of events that just promote sustainability in the real estate space because we feel that we're carrying the flag.
Yeah, very important, definitely. in this day and age, to be part of the larger community, of course, the local community where you're located. And what about the difficulties? I mean, there are challenges in making businesses, especially properties, sustainable. I mean, what are your solutions for that? I mean, or strategies in facing the challenges in making a real estate property or co-living property sustainable?
Well, there's on the development side, obviously, there's been a lot of education to our contractors to do things um, properly, especially like recycling construction materials, using natural materials, um, sourcing materials locally when possible, and just reducing the impact of their operations. So there's been a lot of education that we did there, and then when we opened, really there's not a lot of buildings like us, right? So tenants weren't really understanding the meaning of sustainability and what was the advantages of it. So some probably still don't really care that we are sustainable. Some others they really value that, and some they became fan of it. And it goes down to very simple things like, for example, we eliminated plastic everywhere, right? So we have water dispenser, we free drinking water for everybody. So some people just value the small convenience of not having to go to the 7-Eleven every day and buy a pack of plastic bottles, right? Some other really understand what we're doing beyond that and for the community, and they decided to stay with us longer. And at the end of the day, in our business, it's all about retaining guests, right, and make sure that they're happy. So if sustainability contributes just a little bit to that, then we're winning.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, definitely, it's a work in progress when it comes to state sustainability. But yeah, those are really interesting strategies and solutions. Now let's talk about the exciting part, the locations and the
Yeah.
co-living spaces currently of Homa. Where are you located right now? And tell us more about the co-living spaces you've created or you've developed in Thailand.
Yeah. So we started off with our first project in Phuket, close to the old town. I don't know if you're familiar with Phuket, but the Old Town is a little gem with amazing restaurants and cafes, Sino-Portuguese houses, a lot of heritage buildings, and we saw that as a very strong base of long-term residents because we were really looking for people that live and work here beyond on top of obviously the digital nomads that come and go. And so we found in Phuket Town that place that could be a good combination of affordable living, very convenient, very conveniently located, close to services. So we are in Phuket, but we're not really close to the beach in this one because we understood that for long-term residents, it's more important to be close to a shopping mall or a grocery store or a hospital or schools than a beach. I mean, because you basically use those services almost every day while you go to the beach maybe once or twice a week. So that was our first project. It's 505 apartments, as I mentioned before, from
Wow.
studios to three-bedroom apartments, co-working space, the beautiful rooftop pool that you saw in that
Yeah.
picture right now. Obviously, the gym, yoga studio. We have a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and a beautiful garden where really it became the meeting point for all our tenants and especially the pet owners, where they where they walk their dogs at night
Yeah.
and they can mingle. This was
Cool.
open in 2000 at the end of 2021, so still tail end of COVID. Obviously, I can't tell you how hard it was at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Where basically we had to open this massive project and people couldn't even travel to Thailand, so it was a bit scary. But then The lease up was amazing in 2022. We basically leased up to full occupancy by the end of the year, and then we stayed basically above 85% occupancy since. So it's great. The second project that we opened is in a town close to Bangkok called Sriracha, which is a Japanese enclave. So it's a big Japanese community of expats, people that work in factories there, mainly engineers. And it was an opportunity because we felt there was a need for good quality accommodation, given the high desire for these long-term residents to, come together in a place that they could call home. The third project was and so that one is a bit more Japanese looking. So you will see that. So we have an onsen, we have a golf simulator, we have an izakaya, and we really tailor made it because the community is mainly Japanese, like 90% Japanese.
Oh wow.
Um, the third one that we opened is in another one in Phuket, and it's called Phuket Chantalay, which is a more touristic area, very close to Bang Tao Beach, which is arguably the
Mm-hmm.
best beach in Phuket. And so that's more like a beach environment, more lifestyle, very close to super cool restaurants. And while Phuket Town has a good mix of Thai and expats, I would say that Chantilly is mostly expat residents.
Mm-hmm.
This is also very large, 423 units. Again, studio to three-bedroom apartments with all the facilities basically that we have in Phuket Town, but even better. So bigger gym, which is again big catalyst, a nice movie and game room, swimmable pool, 33 meters lap pool. So a great restaurant and a cafe that we manage directly. So I think it's kind of the evolution. We're going to
Yeah.
open at the end of the year a third property in Phuket, in Chalong, where it's a big base for digital nomads. So we're very excited about that. And then in 2.5 years, we're going to open in Bangkok, prime Bangkok, amazing location, close to BTS, Azok BTS, and
Mm-hmm.
overlooking Benchakiti Park. Just incredible property. We are, I mean, beyond excited to open that one in Bangkok.
Wow, exciting plans, definitely. And I mean, equally exciting locations as well. I mean, I've stayed in Bangkok only a few times since Phuket, but yeah, I mean, it's an ideal place to live for digital nomads, and also for I would say people coming from different parts of Asia, and expats as well coming from the West.
Sure.
And you've mentioned already, of course, the services. I mean, the amenities. The for it's not just for entertainment. It's really for community living,
Right.
where you can meet people. So you're basically getting package, right, of a comfortable space with a sustainable community. I mean, literally, even socialization is sustainable. Now, looking ahead, how do you see co-living evolving in Thailand and even globally? Let's say over the next 5 years.
I believe there is a big trend towards rentals for a combination of reasons. I believe younger generations are delaying the moment of purchasing a house, not because they don't want to own. I think we're not replacing home ownership. I think home ownership is still like a big milestone in life that people will still pursue. It's just happening later. One, because real estate is becoming more expensive, so it's harder to save for that security deposit, for that down payment to buy a house. Two, because people still like to live a life of experiences, and they kind of like want to figure it out before be tied down to a place. So there's much more mobility. People that find a new job in a new city, or a new girlfriend somewhere else, and they just move around, and they wanna travel and experience things before again choosing a place for permanent settlement. And third, because I feel that like there's a lot of people realizing that rental still gives a lot of, I mean, it gives a lot of value. You don't really need to think too much about, the maintenance of your apartments, paying taxes, and it's just like plug and play. You don't need to sign up for an internet contract, and just take care of your house, right? I mean, it becomes really like a service, like a service, and that service comes at a monthly subscription. So as you subscribe to your Netflix or your Spotify, then you subscribe for your house, and that gives you so much flexibility that people just love it, and they take maybe the money that is maybe would be designed to buy a house, and they invest it, and maybe long term they are better off.
Well said, Luca. And yeah, my final question would be, any advice for people who are planning to move to Thailand, and I guess some recommendations as well.
Well, stay at home.
Well said, well said. Well, thank you again, Luca, for your time. And I hope, of course, our community and also professionals, entrepreneurs out there were able to get an idea or more idea about the co living revolution and how it's redefining community. Thank you, Luca,
Thank
for
you,
your
Cal.
time. And yes, see you everyone in our next live stream and in our next episodes. Well, have an amazing time. Bye.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.